There we are. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse, and I am with Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. If you're joining us for the first time, and I know we have a ton of new classes today, we are all about bringing conservation, adventure, and science into classrooms around the world through like a gazillion live, free, amazing, interactive broadcasts featuring some of the world's top scientists, experts, and places on this planet. And that's just our standard programs, and today's program is by no means standard because we are continuing our epic cross-Canada virtual road trip in partnership with the amazing teams at Parks Canada and Canadian Geographic Education. If you haven't had the chance to check out the site below, we have been all over this country, New Brunswick, Alberta for bats. We've gone up to the north to learn about falcons in the Northwest Territories and so much more. We just wrapped up with Flavors of the Forest yesterday, and next week we wrap up with the amazing team in PEI at the Anne of Green Gables site. So if you haven't had the chance to check that out, do head to that site. Some amazing stuff there, and all the recordings are on our YouTube channel as well. One last quick housekeeping note before we get underway. The Canadian Geographic team has an incredible contest for classes. So if you join in today and you love this program and want to follow up with some neat learning opportunities, you can be entered into a contest to win prizes from $100 to $1,000 for your class. I hope you take the chance to do that at the end of today's program. If you're joining us on YouTube, do let us know where you're joining from in the chat bar. We'd love to hear from you. But without further ado, I want to turn it over to Helen, joining us in a really cool studio today, talking about the Broken Skull River. What's that again? I'm really excited to learn about this amazing place in Canada's north and go for a little bit of a paddle together among some other awesome learning experiences. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Helen. Thank you so much for joining us today, and take us away.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jesse, and welcome everybody. Good morning. Like Jesse said, my name is Helen Panter, and I work for Parks Canada here in the Northwest Territory. So basically, my job is to do program like I'm going to do today and go to school and trade show and go all over the place to talk about the 4 amazing parks that I have the chance to work for. So basically, I not only work for one, but I work for 4 parks. So I have a lot of landscape, a lot of gem and treasure to share with everybody. So I work for Wood Buffalo National Park. I work also for Nááts'įhch'oh National Park Reserve. I work also for Nahanni National Park Reserve, and the park we're going to talk about today, Nááts'įhch'oh National Park Reserve. I am very honored and pleased to be joined today by my colleague Dana, who is actually in Toledo, and she works in Nááts'įhch'oh National Park Reserve. So, hi, Dana.
Good morning.
Good morning. You can introduce yourself, Dana.
Nakala Sadzi Dana Hadi. That means good morning. Thank you for joining us. I am Shuta Godena, a mountain Dena from Toledo, which used to be called Fort Norman. We changed it to Toledo, which means where the 2 rivers meet, the mighty Mackenzie River and the Bear River, which flows from the Great Bear Lake.
That is amazing. Welcome, Dana. Nakale, Dana. Masi. So today we're going to be sharing a lot of knowledge and culture about what Nááts'įhch'oh is. And for some people, sometimes saying it the first time might be a tongue twister, but we are lucky to have Dana with us today, that she's going to help us learn how to pronounce the traditional Dene name. And of course, through the years, I grew up in central Quebec and I moved to Fort Smith and the Northwest Territory. So I'm quite a bit far from where Dana is in the park, but I had the chance to learn and to connect with the local culture here, and it helped me understand how spiritual and profound a place can be. So I would like to acknowledge today that I am in Treaty 8 territory. So on the traditional land of Smith Landing First Nation, the Fort Smith Métis, and Salt River First Nation.
And I would like to acknowledge I live in Toledo in the Satu lands, and we are descendants of the łéetŭ people.
Awesome. So Nááts'įhch'oh is all about sharing the culture too, and all about storytelling. So this morning we're lucky. Dana's gonna tell us a story that is really connected with the place where she is right now.
This is the story, the legend of Yamaria, who was a giant in the olden days. In the time when Yamaria came, there were large beavers living in Great Bear Lake. People who lived in this area would travel across the lake by canoe to hunt the caribou. The beavers did not like that, and they didn't like them crossing the lake. So they would get close as possible to the canoe and splash their big tails, hoping to tip them over. When Yamaria heard about that, he went to the Satu, which is Great Bear Lake, and told the people that he would chase the beavers away. Yamaria started chasing the beavers around the lake. The big beavers immediately went down the Bear River, but the younger ones were harder to chase towards the river. During that time, Yamaria was chasing the younger ones around the lake. The bigger beavers had built a dam on the river. That is where the Satute River rapids are to this very day. That he then chased all of them down the river near Toledo at the meeting place of the two rivers, Bear River and the Mackenzie River. Yamaria killed 2 medium beavers and 1 small one. The larger ones were still living and continued down the river. After killing the 3 beavers, he stretched and pegged the 3 hides on the south face of Bear Rock Mountain. You can see the impression they made on the rock to this very day. Meanwhile, the 2 large beavers continued to swim down the Mackenzie, building 2 more sets of rapids along the way. From the top of Bear Rock, Yamaria shot 2 arrows at the meeting place of the 2 rivers and said, "As long as this earth shall last, you shall call them Yamaria's arrows." Still to this day, you can see the 2 big poles sticking out of the river in the spring when the ice goes away. There are always 2 big poles sticking out of the river. After shooting the 2 arrows into the river, Yamaria brought the 2 beavers that he killed up the river about 25 kilometers from Toledo. There he camped. He cooked the beavers, and the grease that drizzled from the cooking started to burn. Until this day, the fire continues to burn and smoke, and you can see the smokes when you pass by this place. The symbol of the 3 beaver pelts on Bear Rock Mountain and the forever burning fire upriver from Toledo are signs on the land as a reminder of the teachings and of legends. If we remember and live them, if we take the signs set on the land for us as our symbols, we will survive as a nation, the Dene Nation. The 5 ribbons, the 5 ribbons for the 5 tribes of the Dene Nation. The logo was first painted on a traditional Dene drum. Let's see.
Merci, Dana. This is a really great story that is connecting with the land where you are. So this is a legend that's been passed on from generation to generation, right?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. So we can move on. So Jesse, if you would like, you can start the video. So we're going to start with a video to tell you a little bit more about Nááts'įhch'oh and why it is such an amazing place, and the spirituality and the connection to the land. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
Fantastic. Helen and Dana, thank you so much for that beautiful intro. And kids, buckle up for this amazing journey.
Welcome to my homeland. My small granny traveled these mountains by foot. She was a midwife. She traveled through them delivering babies. She was a healer. She knew the trails and helped people. My family shares her stories of this land. Creeks, hot springs, mountains, and animals Elders have stories for the nature found in Nááts'įhch'oh. Stories that teach us how to respect the land. The land is important for everyone. I grew up in Toledo and miss that too. The land and the animals still provide for my community. My elders taught me when you take from the earth, you must always give something back. When we travel, we make an offering to the land, the water, and our ancestors. We ask for safe travels. We encourage visitors to do the same. There are places here of great power and healing. When I come to the park, I am guided by my ancestors. The land brings me closer to my elders' stories. It reminds me where the Dene and the Métis people come from and who we are today. Respect our land as we do. I am a Satu Métis, and I would like to welcome you to my homeland. Masi.
There you go. So now we know a little bit more about Nááts'įhch'oh and what is the essence of Nááts'įhch'oh. So we're going to start by bringing you into Mount Nááts'įhch'oh. So Dana, can you say Nááts'įhch'oh? Am I pronouncing it well? Nááts'įhch'oh?
Yep, you're doing a good job.
Excellent.
Nááts'įhch'oh.
Excellent. Thank you. So we're going to start our journey here, and then we're going to be moving into our Broken Skull River. So can you talk to us a little bit, Dana, about Mount Nááts'įhch'oh?
Nááts'įhch'oh is the Shuta in a language description of the mountain, and it refers to its unique shape, which is a sharp and pointed on top like a porcupine quill. The Shuta believe that Nááts'įhch'oh is the place strong spiritual power, which can be bestowed on a newborn child. This location is believed to be the area where the ancestors of the Shuta would camp while traveling with moose-skin boats to see the Naháni prophet.
So Nááts'įhch'oh National Park Reserve was established around 2012, so it's still a pretty new park, and it is located in the southwest portion of the South Satu settlement area. It's about 4,895 square kilometers, so still a big chunk of land, and it protects the land around Mount Nááts'įhch'oh for the habitat of the grizzly bear, the woodland caribou. We are talking about the trumpeter swan, and we are talking about the Dall sheep and mountain goat. So together with Nááts'įhch'oh National Park Reserve and Naháni National Park Reserve that connect together, they protect 86% of the South Naháni watershed. That's pretty cool. And from there, we are traveling in plane, and we are heading to our first destination, which is Divide Lake. And then we got to take the float plane to get to the lake. So we welcome everybody. So Dana and I, we are waiting at Divide Lake for you to come in and land at Divide Lake. So we'll let everybody get their gear out of the plane, and then we're going to be staying to Divide Lake for about the first day. So we can go hike, get our bearing, learn about the area, and learn about the new adventure and what we're going to see around and during the our trip down the river. So for the Dene people, Dana, correct me if I'm saying something not right, everything is connected. Every living thing has a spirit. So connection, everything is intertwined, right?
Yes, for sure.
And then before we venture on the water, what, as a spiritual and connection to the land, what should we do?
Well, our people pay the land when we travel on the land. We usually give back to the land with tea, tobacco, matches, or shells to show respect for the land. Doing the offering asks for a safe journey, a happy and healthy life, good weather, and a good hunt. All travelers are encouraged to do it, especially when you haven't visited the area before. Start a trip with respect in mind and offer a small amount of tobacco or tea to leave on the land with the water. Elders have asked to do it to show respect and protection during your journey through Nááts'įhch'oh.
Excellent. Jesse, can you pause the video 2 seconds? Dana and I, we have so much to say. Excellent. So from the Divide Lake, we're going to be moving to what we saw already, Swallow Fall. That's going to be our first obstacle. So to get to Swallow Falls, it's about a 2-kilometer paddle if we can. If not, you'll have to drag your canoe and you'll have to get your feet wet. But don't worry, it's not really hard to paddle it or to drag your canoe. So our first destination is Swallow Fall, and it's named for the cliff swallow that are on the edge of the waterfall. So to get to the waterfall, we paddle, we walk, and then we have to portage because you don't really want to go down the fall with your canoe. You might break your canoe and break yourself or hurt yourself. So you'll have to portage, go around portage your canoe. It's about 150-meter portage, so not a lot to portage. But then you can use the game trail, the trail that the animal will be using to go down with your canoe, and then at the bottom of the fall, you can put your canoe back in the water and carry on. So you can put back the video, Jesse. Thank you. And then Dana, at the fall, if we see a rainbow in the fall, what does it mean?
I guess it means like you have a long and happy life.
That is so cool. So I saw a rainbow in the video. Did you see it too?
Yeah, I did.
Excellent. So from Swallow Fall, we are traveling to a mini canyon to our next destination. And those rapids have a strange name. They're called Thank You Rapids. What a strange name, Dana. Do you know why they're called Thank You Rapids?
They say if you make it through without denting your canoe, you'll be saying "Mussy, thank you."
Aha, this is why. So a lot of people will decide not to run those rapids. They will use a rope, a line, and they will line up their canoe. That being said, if you decide to run it, remember, keep in mind that you may dent, like Dana said, you may dent your canoe. And then what does it mean? You may have to go home early, and that's not what we really want to do. So you want to keep your canoe and all your gear intact, especially at the beginning of the trip. So lining up and walking your canoe will be the best option for this Thank You Mussy Rapid. And that brings us to our next destination. And then, along the way, if you think that this is easy paddle, no. There will be wave. You'll have to work hard. You have to paddle hard to stay upright. You may get splashed in the face. If you see a little creek on the right side, it's called Shell Creek. And there's a set of rapids that are called Pinball. Can you imagine pinball? How it must bounce all over the place. It should be a little bit crazy, like rapid. Have you traveled those pinball rapids, Dana?
No, I haven't.
No, me neither. I'm looking forward. Maybe one day I can go and try my skill. I do more like whitewater kayaking than canoeing, but who knows? Maybe I can go as well. Next destination we have around, it's Singing Water Mountain. Can you help us say it in Dene, Dana?
Tu ula shu.
Tu la shu.
Tu ula shu.
Tu ula shu.
Yes.
Awesome. So this is where we're going to go for a beautiful hike too. This is a beautiful mountain that we're going to go. There's no trail, so you can either take the game trail to go up the mountain, or you can make your own trail as well. And then from the top of the mountain, you'll be able to see the surroundings, see the river. And if you really have a good look, you're even going to be able to see Divide Lake, where we started our journey today. So this is an amazing, amazing place, very high and emotion. And for some people, this is very emotional to see all the beauty of the mountain and everything, all the lakes. And you know what? When you travel, you have to connect with the land too. So you got to go deep inside into your emotion and your personal connection and connect, make this trip the best trip ever. So you take time, you look around, breathtaking scenery, and then if you decide to camp over there at the bottom of the mountain, you might be welcomed by a beautiful rainbow. In the morning, who knows? That's a beautiful rainbow, isn't it?
Awesome.
And then from Singing Water Mountain, we're gonna be moving to a place. But of course, we have to pack our canoe because we come in and out and in and out. So we have to make sure our canoe is well packed because we don't want to lose our belonging along the way. And if you tip over in the rapids, you don't want to have to go fish all your barrel and all your gear. So you always have to make sure. And we've been paddling for quite a bit, and I don't know, is it me? But I could take a bath. Could you take a bath? A warm bath, Dana?
Yes, that would be awesome.
I would love to take a bath. So everybody, if you see a gravel ball on the right, aim right. And you know what? We're gonna go check out the Broken Skull Hot Spring. How do we say Broken Skull Hot Spring, Dana?
Pipine the two gofa.
Pipine te tu gofa. I don't think I got it.
Pipine the two gofa.
Gofa. Excellent. I'm gonna work on it. Now, Dana is my knowledge keeper and she's my helper to pronounce all the word perfectly. So basically, to get to the hot spring, we have to stay along the little creek, right? And then we have to cross the Dedeletque River, little creek, and then we can go hike to the hot spring. And what's the meaning of those hot spring, Dana? What will people go for the hot spring for?
Well, people go to the hot spring for healing, for inner healing, as well as arthritis pain, achy bones, stuff like that, as well as animals too.
Excellent. So animals, like we saw that mama grizzly bear will go into the hot spring as well. And people go there to relax also. And we have to respect those hot spring because maybe one day other elders will, or member of the community will need to go heal themselves at the hot spring. So you got to make sure you bring all your belonging back with you and you respect the land that you are. And of course, there's no camping. I wish I could just camp on the side of the hot spring, but there's no camping around the hot spring, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have to walk back our 2.5 kilometers back to our canoe, and then we get our gear on to carry on down our Broken Skull River. So we are moving through the rapids and we are moving through the river to what we call a mini gate. So if you have followed me and Pauline last year about Nááts'įhch'oh National Park Reserve, we talk about the gate, which is like inside a big canyon. It's a big granite rock in the valley. This one is similar to the one we talked about last year, but it's just in a smaller format. So mini gate, you really have to paddle. It tests your skills, and sometimes you have to paddle on the wrong side, and if you're in the front, you got to paddle hard to get out of the way, and if you're in the back, you're like, paddle hard, and then you got to steer to make sure you make it around the gate, and sometimes you may have to dodge a couple rocks and boulders along the way, so you have to make sure your skills are up to point. And then we'll show you a video of some friends that went over and paddle the gate, and then you'll see the video going, and seems like the second canoe will be like, get out of the way, I'm coming. So hold on, I'm ahead of myself. The video will come in a couple of seconds. So the rocks are made of granite. Those are granite rocks as well. And what else do we know about the mini gate? Oh, there is the video. So you really have to paddle hard to make it around the gate. And sometimes if other canoes are following you, they're like, oh, paddle hard. So everybody is working super hard. And then you have the wave coming and crashing on you. So if you think the Broken Skull River is a gentle paddle, no. This is a river that has a lot to offer, a lot of adventure, and it's a good way to test your skill as well. Super cool. And the scenery, the trees, the mountain, the animals we can see around too. You may even see some muskox. You might see some moose. You might see some bears. So, and then because we are in the north, it's bright for a long time. Often you can paddle the river until 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it's still bright in the middle of the summer. Have you done it, Dana? Paddling in the middle of the summer? Super late?
Not the Broken Skull, but
Not the Broken Skull. So we'll have to do it together next time.
yes.
I'll go to Toledo and then we can go paddle. So that brings us to our next destination, which is Grizzly Bear Hot Spring and Grizzly Bear Lake. So I'm going to try it. Nááts'įhch'oh. Did I get it right?
Yep. Nááts'įhch'oh.
Nááts'įhch'oh. Excellent. Thank you. So this is another set of hot springs that are made for healing. Like, you have to respect them as well. And I believe Grizzly Bear Lake now will be changed. The name will be changed to be more like a backbone lake, because there was a set of bone that was prehistorical bone that were found over there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's all kind of fragile and all kind of very unique plants that are growing around the hot spring. And of course, people will go for healing, the same as the Broken Skull hot spring that we saw earlier. So people always treat the hot spring with great respect. And you know what? Those hot springs, they don't really smell like rotten eggs. So you go there and you have the fresh mountain air that you can smell, and then you can enjoy. So if you decide to go to those hot springs, you will be there. Take your time, enjoy the scenery, and have a picnic on the surrounding. And then you can stay for a few hours, an entire day if you wish. So, and then I believe grizzly bear, we never say grizzly bear when we go to Nááts'įhch'oh, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We say
So what
big guy.
Yes. And why do we say big guy instead of grizzly bears?
Well, elders believe they can hear you when you're walking through the bush or the woods. So to have respect, we say big guy instead of grizzly bear or bear.
Oh, I see. See? I learned something new too. And then from our big guy lake, grizzly bear, backbone lake, we are moving to our next section, which this one, if you really want to have a lot of fun, sharpen your skills, show off the girls what you got, or maybe the girls are like, I'm gonna show the boys how to paddle like a girl, and then that's when you gotta paddle hard. And this is the best place at the La Ferté Rival to go in the wave, eddy out, portage back up, and go play again. So you can spend hours and hours going down the river and just getting splashed in the face. And you can also set up camp and go play the next morning if you want. So in the video, you can see Chris getting all splashed and all happy because you go in the wave, and then you just like have so much fun playing around referee rival. That's what I like. You go, you serve, you come out, go again, and then you just paddle hard, and then your belly hurt because you laughed so hard and you had so much fun. And of course, you may not have noticed, but did you notice, Dana? We are now in Nááts'įhch'oh National Park Reserve.
Yes.
Did you see the boundary?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, we moved from Nááts'įhch'oh National Park because Nááts'įhch'oh and Nahanni are connected through the boundaries. That we moved from Nááts'įhch'oh National Park down to Nahanni National Park Reserve. And then that brings us to the confluence with the South Nahanni River, which starts at Mount Nááts'įhch'oh that we had at the beginning. So the headwater of the South Nahanni River will flow down. Okay, so Nááts'įhch'oh is the name of the South Nahanni River. And then you have switched from one park to another because the mountain, the peaks, right, Dana? The mountains are so different. And also the water is a little bit more calm and relaxed. So you have time to enjoy yourself a little bit more. I like those pointy mountains, all those pointy mountains. And then yeah, I love all the mountains. The mountains are so beautiful. And this brings us to almost the end of our trip already. That goes so fast. This is Rabbit Kettle Lake, Ganithamia. So basically, this is in the Nahanni National Park Reserve. So you start in Nááts'įhch'oh at the Vide Lake. You travel 108 kilometers to get to Ganithamia. From the river, you're going to have to do a little portage to get to the lake. And that's when you're going to be there the last second day before you head out and go home and think about how amazing your trip was. So it's super, super exciting to know that you have paddled such a great river. And thing that you should know is how many people have paddled the Broken Skull River, Dana? Do you know? Not a lot.
Not very many.
Maybe less than 50, maybe 50 people. So knowing that you paddle the Broken Skull River, it's amazing. So you can be on the top 50 of people that have paddled the Broken Skull River. Of course, we gave you a vast overview of what this river can offer, but the best way will be to come and visit and paddle the river. I want to go. Do you want to go, Dana? We should set up a trip and go. We're going to go together and we're going to paddle. You'll be in the back. I'm not really good at steering, so you're going to have to make sure I point the right way where I'm supposed to be pointing. So this brings us to the end of our trip already. I want to keep paddling all the way down. So I hope you enjoy and you enjoyed the little video. And I would like personally to thank Dana for joining me. Merci, Dana. And also I would like to thank my colleagues that helped me put all the pictures and the video together. So Brandon, Alyssa, Neil, thank you very much. And of course, my photography skills are not up to tight, but Connor Furno is the one that took some amazing. So I would like to credit him all the picture, and merci, Dana, for joining me to the adventure.
Dana, yes. Helen, what a fun program. Thank you so much for such a neat journey and sharing so many great stories. What a stunning, truly, like not just a stunning place by Canada standards, but on a world scale. That must surely be one of the most incredible paddles on the planet. Thanks so much for taking us down. And now I'd love to dive in with Q&A. We've got classes from all over North America joining us live, which is amazing. If you're on YouTube too, you want to share some questions there, we'd love to come to you guys in a minute. But I'm going to start our Q&A off with Mr. Lebrun's class. If you want to come on in and kick us off with the first question, you are good to go, guys. Hey.
What is the best part of Helen's job?
Ooh, Helen, best part of your job.
The best part of my job, I will say, talking to people about what passion me. Like you may see, I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna go down the river. No, I'm excited about everything, and I am lucky to have the job that I have, and just to talk and to share all the knowledge I have acquired through the years and to bring you those magic places through the computer. And that's what I like. That's what passion means.
It certainly shows, and we absolutely appreciate it. As I might have mentioned at the beginning, we had, what did we have? We had 100 classes and programs. We had absolutely gigantic full house, groups from all over North America. And speaking of North America, we're going to go to the closest class to you guys right now, Ms. Camacho's class, joining us in Inuvik in the Northwest Territories. Come on in, unmute your mic, guys, and you're good to go.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Anyone ever tipped over when you're in the rapids?
Yeah.
Tipped.
Yes. Over, yeah.
Tipped over, yes. If sometimes you run some rapids and then you never know. Sometimes they have current and then they have the wave coming in. And one of my colleague, Alyssa, was telling me that she went last September, I believe, and one canoe ended up tipping in one of the rapids. So sometimes you may have to swim a little bit for a bit while people rescue you. But you have to know that I didn't put mine, but I have, like, you need to put a dry suit to make sure you stay warm because the water is pretty cold. But yes, people may tip their canoe.
Dana, have you ever tipped, or are you just too good? You just never
I've tipped over a few times.
I must say,
cold.
Yeah, you ladies are more experienced than I am. I've tipped over on perfectly flat water before. That's how bad I am. So practice makes perfect. But I love that question. Thanks, guys. Let's do our Rolling Acres School friends live. If you guys want to unmute your mic, come on in. All our teachers, you guys can keep your mics unmuted. Actually, when you're in the background, you're good to go. Yay!
Hi. Are there fish in the water?
Are there fish in the water? We talked about some of these big land animals, guys, but anything swimming around with you? Dana.
What do you think, Dana? What kind of fish is there?
There's lots of fish. There's trout, grayling, whitefish, suckerfish, losh.
Ooh, losh is a new one to me. I'll have to look that guy up. Grayling we had an experience with grayling at Ripley's Aquarium not too long ago, one of our programs. They're very cool, but thanks, guys. Great question. Yes, fish abounding. In fact, in general, it's one of the great wildernesses on this planet is Canada's north. There's fewer people per square kilometer there than there are almost anywhere on this planet. So it's a really remarkable place to get the chance to visit if you ever get up there. Ms. Kirby,
yeah, there's only 42,000 people in the Northwest Territory, so in the entire place. So
I think there's 42,000 people. I went to a baseball game the other day in Toronto with 47,000 people. So there you go, in one stadium.
there you go.
Miss Gurney's class, let's head to Rio, Wisconsin. Hey, guys.
How did Broken Skull get its name?
Yes.
Oh, that is a really good question. And we didn't put it in the program for a purpose. We're like, it might come in the question. So basically, only before 2017, only 2 groups have traveled the Broken Skull. So basically, long time ago, somebody traveled and found a cracked moose skull on the side. So he decided to send the name Broken Skull to the name place database, and the name got picked, and that's how the river got its name.
There you go.
That's interesting.
I'm really glad we did get that question. It's pretty much inevitable. Let's head to our John Black Badgers. We'll take a couple questions from YouTube, and then we'll wrap up with one more from Miss Camacho's class in just a second. So John Black Badgers, unmute. Come say hello. Hello.
Okay, there you go.
Which kind?
How many rapids are there all together?
Yeah, great question. Dana, do you know this offhand?
I'm not sure, but
a lot. We were trying to count there. I was really trying to keep track. Helen, do you know?
I don't know the number, but what I know is high water, low water. There might be rapid that you don't see in high water, but some rapid will be more tricky and challenging in low water. So
there you go.
It's hard to say. I can not give a number.
That's right. Well, we got another fact-based question for you both. So on YouTube, Miss Babbitt's class, Miss Fletcher's class, Miss Singh's class, they want to know how long the river is and how long it takes to paddle.
Yes. So from the Vide Lake to Ganitha, It's 108 kilometers. You can take 6 days to paddle it, but if you want just to hang out, camp longer, go for more hikes, you can make it 10, 15 days if you want. But most of the group that have paddle, 6 to 10 days.
Yep.
That's about the average.
If I went, I think I'd spend like 5 of those just in the hot spring. It sounds really nice. What an incredible view. So that's my journey when I go up the river.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Time flies and you're having fun. I wish we could take like 50 more questions about the river and this amazing story that you shared with us today. But I will wrap up with our friends in Inuvik. If you want to unmute your mic one more time, come on in and take us away. Hi.
You have a bear breaking into your tent on the side of the river.
Ooh, can you have a bear breaking into your tent on the side of the river? And hopefully, has that ever happened? I hope not, but for you both.
What do you think, Dana?
Yes, it can happen. That's why you need bears. You need to take safety precautions. Bear safety, always make noise. And in our culture, you shouldn't talk about bears on the land. But yes, always, and it's good to travel with a dog, so it could bark at night.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you don't have anything smelly in your tent. So if you're cooking, keep the cooking area far away. But animals are wild and they can be everywhere. So you're the one traveling to their habitat and their territory. So you just have to make sure that you take all the precaution, like Dana said, and then you should be okay.
2 quick follow-ups too. We've had a lot of adventurers that have gone across on epic Arctic expeditions, and bears more than anything are just curious. You're a unique feature of the landscape. What is this thing that's come to see me? Muskox, moose, you have other animals that do the same thing. So just give animals that respect. And if you do have the opportunity to bring a dog, just think that dog gets to go back and tell all his dog friends how cool an adventure he got to go on is, which I think is worth it just for that. What an amazing adventure. Helen, Dana, this has been so much fun. I do want to stress for our classes, if you guys want to check out the entire amazing Cross Canada Virtual Road Trip Series, check out the link on the bottom of the screen. It is their one-stop shop to head to the St. Lawrence for sharks, up to the north for falcons, and so many more journeys that we've gone on over the last month. In fact, next week we wrap up with the amazing team at Green Gables to meet Anne and do some other adventures there. So May 17th, check that out. And again, the Canadian Geographic Contest. If you guys love today's program, you want to highlight some of your learning and adventure, check out that link on the bottom of the screen. Head to it. We're going to make sure all our registered classes get that. And Helen and Dana, is there a last message we want to leave with our kids before we wrap up today? Dana, for our students joining again across North America, anything that they should leave with?
Just thank you for visiting. It was an awesome morning with you all. Please take care and be safe on the land and respect the land always. Masicho.
So much. Helen, anything to add? That was a beautiful end.
I know, Dana said it all. So thank you for watching, spending a little bit of time with us and learning about how beautiful the North is. And like Dana said, make sure you respect the land. If you go in the water, bring some tobacco or some tea for offering. You know, the land gave you the opportunity to go venture in the water. So this is just giving back and saying thank you. But keep on learning, and who knows, maybe you'll come visit us up north one day.
I would certainly love that. I hope our classes get that chance too. And Helen, I know you know this. Dana, you're new to this. So what we're going to do now is bring in our friends to say a big thank you and farewell, the most enthusiastic send-off you're ever going to have. So Rolling Acre School, Miss Camacho's class, Mr. LeBrun, John Black Badgers, and Miss Kearney's class. Thank you so much.